Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade,
And I'm Joe.
and we're here to talk about a movie from 1935, a Hitchcock film, because we talked about Peeping Tom a couple episodes ago. So let's do a Hitchcock. So we're doing the 39 Steps by the old Alfred Hitchcock. Well, a young Alfred Hitchcock, because it's 1935. This is way before Psycho, way before Vertigo, way before he hits his stride, really.
This is real early Hitchcock.
Yes. Starring, I believe it's Robert uh, Donat or Dana or something like that. I think it's Donat. And he plays Hanny. I think it was Hanny, or is it? Yeah, it's Hanny. And he's just some guy from Canada, and he's in the UK. He's just watching. I keep on saying Mr. Marbles. It was like Mr. Memory.
Yeah, Mr. Memory.
Mr. Memory. Mr. Marbles.
Yeah.
Mr. Memory, and it just all goes haywire for him. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time, meets the wrong person.
Yeah.
And he meets a lady who happens to be a spy, and she goes into his room, and she's like, they're coming for you or whatever. And she falls on the bed, knife in the back. She has a map in her hand, and then that's the journey we go on.
Well, I mean, you glossed over a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
there.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So he's at the Mr. Memory. He meets her and helps her get out after shots ring out.
Yeah.
During the performance, and everybody rushes out and comes to find out it was her, and there's people tailing her, and now that she's with him, they've seen him with her, and now he's a target.
Yep.
Especially after she tells him something on her last breath.
Yes. And boy, that was the last breath.
Yeah.
Those actors in the 30s,
yeah.
You know, that slight overacting.
Yeah, and it kind of goes into this whole like not quite the wrong man, but like you just kind of get pulled into this conspiracy, and like things just start, the more things happen, the more it unravels.
Yeah.
And it's very like, it's kind of proto noir. It's around that time period, but it's not quite, but kind of is. It has some of that flavor.
Yeah, it's getting there with that, the mystery part, the conspiracy part. That's very noir.
I believe it's based on a book.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have the knowledge.
And this is before he does Rebecca and wins an Oscar.
Yes. Yeah. So this is very early Hitchcock, and you see some little bit of, he hasn't mastered his craft yet.
The camera work, it's almost there.
Yeah, it's almost there, but it's just knowing that like he does better things with just like Vertigo alone.
Yeah.
For cinematography and camera work and direction. I thought this movie was okay. I didn't love it. I walked into it thinking, man, I'm gonna really like this film. I thought it was very, maybe because it's a proto-noir, and I've seen noirs like Detour or something like that we talked before about, to where I'm like, this was fine. Like how Peeping Tom is like kind of like the proto-slasher. This is like the proto-noir. And I hate to just keep comparing to Peeping Tom, but it's a good example where it's a proto-slasher, but it also is better than most slashers you've ever seen.
Yeah.
This one is like, it's not the better noir you've ever seen. It ain't like the tentpole kind of noir film.
Yeah, I think this really leans on the mystery, and the character ends up in a predicament, has to figure out a way out of it, and it's rinse and repeat after that.
Yes.
I think it leans on it quite a lot, and I don't know, like, I found it to be interesting, especially once he gets to Scotland. And he doesn't know who's going to betray him or who's going to help him. He's trying to figure his way around, trying to make it and like deliver messages and stuff like that. And it's doing the heavy lifting. Hitchcock isn't full Hitchcock yet.
Yeah.
I think that comes relatively soon after. I think he does like the Man Who Knew Too Much.
I would say probably the 40s.
Yeah, I think the Man Who Knew Too Much is coming up around the corner, and then he really starts hitting his stride. You get your Sabotage and all of those films. Strangers on the Train. A lot of great, like, he has a hell of a run, as we all know, but like this one is just before that. He's not quite there.
Yeah. There's certain moments, like, plot wise, I feel like there's one in particular I felt was like very like kind of like maybe it's because it's just the 30s or something like that, but like there's a moment where he gets shot and he's wearing a coat.
Yeah.
And then they fade to black, and then they fade back to like what was he? He was like
he had like a
Bible. And they set up I put the Bible in the thing. And it's just like
it was so after the fact.
It was so after the fact, and it's just like, oh, okay. And then they cut to where like he's the police, he's dealing with the police and stuff like that. It was a weird timing thing. It just, I don't know. There's some hiccups to the film. I thought that were very like could have been done a little bit more cleaner, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also a young Hitchcock. You know, he hasn't found his way yet. Maybe there were some roadblocks and learning curves along the way. Maybe this was a movie he learned a lot about, with more filming his craft and stuff like that. Of course, I was not alive in 1935, so I don't know. And I did not read anything about interviews with this film. But yeah, like I do like how the movie does have a tale. Like it bookends itself, where we have the Mr.
Memory.
I keep on saying marbles for some reason.
I like the Mr. Memory tie-in is real. Like that's like that's
the hint of Hitchcock.
You're like there's a bit of Hitchcock here. There's a couple of camera transitions and stuff that are very Hitchcock. But yeah, the Mr. Memory tie-in, and just like I love that motif of him whistling that song.
Yeah.
And how that plays in later. Like there's those moments, but we're not like he's not fully evolved Hitchcock yet.
Yeah.
He's not fully there.
I think it's hard to really really enjoy the film as much as some people do. Knowing where he goes and his quality of movies and seeing the quality of movies for this is definitely on the bottom for me. It's not bad. I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie. It's a very okay film. It's not the best noir film you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's not the best Hitchcock you've ever seen. It's very fine, and that's fine. We live in a society where it's got to be the greatest thing or the worst thing in the world. This is it's okay to be fine or average or okay. It's fine. Or pretty good, right? So, I mean, did you have anything else to say about the film before we move on to the next?
No. I mean, I think we've hit on a lot of it. Like, I like Donat's performance.
Yes, he's very good in it.
He does carry the film, and he carries it pretty well. And then, like, having to deal with some of the
professor is a pretty good character.
The professor's great, and like, there's a couple other people that really stand out. But other than that, it's really like the legwork is him, Hanny, and then the winding story, and that's kind of the main things this movie's like kind of built on.
Yeah. Would you recommend the film to the general audience? It is it's now tough. It currently is streaming on Max and stuff like that, so if you wanted to watch it, it's on Max.
It's a little tough. Just because it's not a bad or even an incompetent film, because I love the train sequence.
Yes.
And there's some really, really cool things that they do. But I feel like this is like a down the line, like if you want to complete your Hitchcock watching experience, there's, I think, almost countless better films in his own repertoire. Like that train sequence I'm talking about, Strangers on Train. You can go ahead and watch that one.
Yeah.
Mystery movie like Man Who Knew Too Much, or Vertigo. There's just like better examples. So I'm going to say Rear Window. Yeah. I'm going to say no. with the caveat of saying, like, this wouldn't be the first one I would show somebody if they had never seen Hitchcock before.
Yeah.
And if this is the one that they've seen, then I'd be like, well, now let's talk about, like, the dozen other classics he's got in his filmography and, like, get you up to speed.
I'd also probably say a light no. I'd say it's not a bad movie to watch, but like I feel like it's a movie that you would probably watch as a completionist, as you mentioned. Like I feel like you're gonna watch all the Hitchcocks in order. You'd probably watch this one, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. I wouldn't say it's a must-see watch movie. I thought it was very okay. Mm-hmm. It's good to have like in the background. If you're a completionist, buy the DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple Hitchcocks that are on.
It's like I think of this as like it's just like a step up from like Jamaica Inn, which is another really early Hitchcock film. I'm like, these are ones that you're gonna see, like perhaps on like a set or something, or if you want to complete your Hitchcock experience, like these are the ones you get to.
It's like the Multiple Maniacs of John Waters' like Hairspray or polyester or something like that. It's a terrible example, but but like that's kind of the idea of like it's like the early.
It's just not there yet. But it is great to see like. I think it's valuable for like a film student or somebody who wants like who's super interested in the history of film and these directors. I think it's very valuable for somebody to see it and see where the mastery comes.
Yeah.
And seeing kind of the building blocks being put into place.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on 39 Steps. Let us know in the comments section below what you think about this film. We haven't done Rebecca yet, so maybe we'll do Rebecca soon. What's some noir films we should do? Say below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Condish Productions. Be sure to check out Butterfly of Black Velvet on Vimeo or buy the DVD. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm still Joe.
And we will see you later.